Well, I'm sitting here in the midst of some wreckage. I've been trying to piece myself back together. The past several years have been kind of tough. And it's hard, when you lose people you love. I kind of fell apart for a bit. I lost my mom in 2020 to cancer. She got the diagnosis and passed away within a week. She died at home, while I, my father, my aunt, my cousins watched over her. And I did what I could for her. And after that, I took care of my father for 3 years. I ended up working an overnight job that was draining and miserable and all over awful to help and support my father. I'd come home at 7 a.m. after working all night, and I'd get his breakfast ready for him. I would get everything ready for him, and I'd fall asleep on the couch waiting for him to wake up and come down. And he'd always come and wake me up with a smile. And even though pushing myself through that was hard and difficult, it was always worth it to make him happy in some small way. And it was difficult, really, after Mom had passed, for both of us, but I had to stay strong for him, and I couldn't really do what I needed to do to appease my own grief. So I tucked it away, buried it down. And unfortunately, three years later, after Mom had passed, I lost my father tragically. He died in my arms. I was trying to resuscitate him. The whole world became a blur. He died in my arms, and I became numb for a long, long time. I'm still numb in a lot of ways. I dream about them a fair bit. And every time I dream of them, it's always pleasant and wonderful. It's like they're still here, and I'm making breakfast for them or something. And it's warm and wonderful and pleasant. And then I wake up. I kind of let things fall apart. I've been dealing with it and trying to process it, but it's been difficult. Dad passed. He didn't have a will, and frankly, I haven't been in the greatest of headspaces since he passed. I've been clawing my way forward bit by bit, but in a lot of ways I'm still stuck. I couldn't really stop ever, because I still had bills to pay. And for a while I was doing okay paying them. For a while I was staying on top of everything and doing so good. But that grief, it kind of body slammed me, and I've been turning things around as best I can. And it's been a slow process. I've had support from friends and family, and from people who genuinely love my art for whatever reason. It's strange and weird, and I like drawing weird transformational stuff. It's bizarre, but I like it. It gives me some sense of control, I guess. It's like if I were to make Kafka's Metamorphosis into Silly Putty, playing around and exploring my identity and my boundaries and everything else. But I've been stuck a lot. Overly ambitious a lot. I've been working on so much, trying to get so much done by myself. I've come to realize there's different parts of myself, different aspects, and I had to reconcile a lot with those aspects of myself. Aspects of myself that have been reaching out for so many years, that they showed up in like waking dreams and just nightmares and whatever way they could. My inner world was trying desperately to reach out and throttle me, to get my attention, and I didn't know what it was I was dealing with. I've been on my own for so long, Thought I was out of my mind a little bit, and to some degree I was. But this past year or so, I've slowly been rebuilding myself. But I'm still in this wreckage. Just a little bit. Oh, more than a little bit. And I've been trying to push forward, trying to find work. But for much of it, I've been wrestling with myself, getting in my own way, doubting myself. And I'm flawed and broken, but I can at least, sling a few images together. I worked on television productions as an animator, but I ended up living with my folks, helping them. It was a strange relationship. It was loving, but it weighed on me a little bit. I was wrestling with my own self-doubts from things that had happened in my life, things that were done to me against my will. And I never properly stopped to acknowledge it or tell anyone, save for like a close few friends. But even then, I've kept myself guarded and hidden, buried beneath myself. So, these aspects of myself, it pretty much cornered me. Like, literally cornered me in a waking dream. Like, I never knew what they were as a kid, but I had these blank silhouettes of figures that would reoccur in my dreams over and over again. Like, blatantly trying to get my attention. And it took a few solid waking dreams last year to realize maybe it's more than just a weird dream. So, like, I would wake up slightly in my bed, and I would see these figures around my bed, these inner aspects of myself, about 5 of them, give or take. And I never quite understood. It was unnerving, but they weren't alien. They felt familiar, and I had to make sense of it on my own. And it might be flawed, it might be weird, but these aspects of myself, I've since given them names, figured out who they are and what they represent. And they've been helping me through my grief. I never knew how deep one's inner world could exist or operate or reach out. I never realized, that my dreams could be anything more than just that. I've given them names. Sort of. Or at least descriptors. There's Casper, Jasper, and Bolt. Then there's the Furnace, and Steadfast and Longjaw. It's kind of ridiculous, but hey, I'm kind of ridiculous. I own that. I mean, I am something of a walking contradiction. Quite a bit. Like, oh boy. I would have to spend much, much more time to unpack what a contradictory weirdo I am. Well, Casper is sort of like the inner child of me. He's the first one that really reached out properly. He was small enough in the silhouettes to make me pause. Like, they're all kind of roughly the same shape, but Casper practically climbed onto the bed with me, in my face, like, hey dummy, pay attention. And I started looking into that, thinking about it. I would have waking dreams on occasion where these figures would populate those dreams, and half awake, I would chase them to my door as if I knew them, and I'd be like, hey, who are you? Get back here. And there I'd be, standing at the door's edge like an idiot, looking at nothing, thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? I'm chasing shadows. Shadows in my mind. And it kept happening. To the point where I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to these recurring dreams I've been having all my life, and all my life I've been dismissing as kooky, strange dreams because I'm overly imaginative. I concoct worlds and stories like almost instantly, so it's easy for me to trick myself. I'm not saying my worlds or stories are inherently good or interesting. It's something I've always been able to do. So I can trick myself quite a bit. I can trick myself to believe that these things are just dreams and of little consequence. But I started just talking to myself like an idiot. And I'd start asking these open-ended questions. Generally yes or no. Just as some vague curiosity, because it kept happening so often, I couldn't ignore it. And it was so silly and stupid. But I'd be like, hey, is anybody there? Like, am I just going crazy, talking to myself? I don't feel like I have dissociative identity disorder. I don't have alters, not that I'm aware of. I don't have skips in time as far as I'm aware of. But these parts of myself kept insisting on my mind, so I figure, hey, it keeps happening, and I've been through a lot. The grief of losing my parents clearly keeps affecting me. So I started asking open-ended questions, and in response, I would start getting body shivers, like really strange, specific body shivers, like to a T. It would generally start towards my lower back, and the more intense the question, the more intense the response. It would be like someone was hugging the back of my head. And it was so strange. And I would be sarcastic, and it's hard to convey in words. When you get the sensation of yourself being sarcastic back at you. Because you know yourself, generally. Even if you try to deny yourself, you know deep down who you are. You're tangled by the weeds in your own mind. And sometimes you just need to stop and mow your internal lawn or something. Well, I'm slowly getting better, I think. I've slowly been achieving more clarity in my life than I've ever had. But I'm still in a hard spot right now. I am barely scraping by. I've been dealing with bills, my own, and the looming estate of my father. He unfortunately died without a will, and things are chaotic and hard and all over the place. And I've been pushing forward as best I can, but things are a little chaotic right now. But I've been trying to push forward as best I can. Sometimes, maybe a lot of the times, kind of misguided, but I've been slowly gaining momentum. I've been working on whatever I can, whenever I can. And I've got a few solid people that keep supporting me, that I keep cherishing. They support my weirdo buddy here, Rain Gallows. My buddy, well, I don't think we need to go too much into who Rain Gallows is. He's a strange artist that helps me explore these strange things within me. And I'm just a weirdo along for the ride. For a long time, I've had this steadfast stoicism. My sense of humor has always been dry, and I've always been kind of reserved. And usually, and much to my detriment, I've generally just pushed forward. Just muscled through as best I could. And that steadfast resolve in me is good sometimes. But a lot of the times, it kind of makes me push forward in the wrong direction. Like, I'm in the middle of a bog, and it would be easier to turn back, slog through all that mud I've just come through, rather than wading through it hip deep. But that stoicism, that drive, I've realized, I can't just barrel forward. Not on my own anyway. So I've been trying to reach out a little bit more, be a little bit more honest with myself and to others. I'm still stuck in my own way a lot, even with the progress I've been making. I feel so close that I'm on the verge of making something really fun. That the stories I have within me could have a place somewhere. I have an entire world in my head. 2, actually. I have a whole cast of characters that I'm just itching to get out, but I'm only one person. And until I get a little bit of stability, until I get a little bit of solid ground beneath my feet, I can only do so much at a time. I've been trying to sell as much digital art as I could. And I've been doing pretty good on occasion, but it's tough, Living like a pirate from commission to commission. I've been doing what I can while trying to find steady employment. And it's always like a hair's breadth away. A potential animation gig here, easy work there. And it's ridiculous, I apply for jobs I'm overqualified for, and it's like a desert town. People are hiring everywhere, but I'm just not getting traction at the moment. And I feel just a teeny tiny bit of stability. That's all I need. Just to barrel forward and create something dumb, silly, and ridiculous. Because, hey, it's part of who I am. I'm one part ridiculously over-introspective, and one part just nonsensical, cartoonish weirdness. And I know a lot of you who are familiar with me know that I'm like some cross-section of Willy Wonka meets Clive Barker, that I mash ridiculousness and silliness with horror, and hey, that's all I know. It's all I've ever known. And if I could crawl forward just a little bit, I would make so much stuff. And I feel like I'm almost there, just a tiny bit. But I'm just trying to keep this rickety, leaky boat from sinking completely. And it's almost too little too late. But even part of me is then feeling like if I sink, I'm just going to have to swim harder. I've been pushing myself forward this long. What's a little bit more swim time? Maybe I can drift on the open ocean for a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to try to climb out of this wreckage. Make something of it. Push past my grief. My inner world is stronger. I kicked out my self-loathing quite some time ago, but I gave voice to my self-loathing. I referred to it as Mr. Void, and once I got my inner world sorted out, it was kind of funny actually. All the aspects of myself kind of stopped for a second and looked at this annoyingly self-critical, hateful side of myself that I let foster for far too long. And one by one, every aspect of myself cornered Mr. Void and just trounced him so solidly. Like, all those bitter, nasty things he would say, wrapped in the guise of wisdom or clarity, but only really with the focus and intention of hurting myself. We had kicked Mr. Void out so thoroughly, my inner world is quiet. It's been peaceful. The only real turmoil now is just surviving. Making enough money to pay rent, pay the bills, eat. I have been growing so much from this turmoil I've been facing. I've been making strange foods, strange recipes, exploring, experimenting. And if I could turn this around, if I could reshape my existence right now, I would absolutely love if I could make some of these weird things I've explored for some of you. The weird desserts, the weird food. If I could make a pumpkin berry cookie for you, I would absolutely love that. I concocted this strange cookie with the texture almost of a pancake, the sweetness and crunch of cocoa, blueberry, because there's always going to be some blueberry in the things I make, and a little center of marmalade, so you have this strange concoction that's got this soft mouthfeel, this chewy, this crunch. If I could make that for you, I would love to be able to do that. Or a purple berry pancake. A pancake that tastes like a milkshake. Like, I'm not a cook. Probably have no business playing with food as I do, but just these few little odds and ends I've made. A purple berry pancake is my comfort food now. And it's so ridiculously easy to make. I even have it in a recipe somewhere that I'll share with you. But for now, I'm going to climb out of this wreckage. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a moment amidst my chaos and grab a moment of clarity and turn things around. In whatever direction I can, I will endeavor to get on top of my situation. I have come up with a little bit of a mantra, I guess, that I have been speaking to myself as of late. It's kind of ridiculous, but I have a mala that I wear, a beaded necklace that I had since I was, I don't know, in my 20s or teenage years. I got it because it looked cool at first. I got it because it was a beaded necklace of skulls, and I was probably not surprising to you, somewhat of a spooky goth weirdo. I still am to some degree, but I've since been wearing this mala more regularly and with more intent. Not out of some spiritual reason, but as a guiding force for myself. That whenever I put it on with intention. And I speak the mantra for whatever it is I'm about to do. And thus far, it's not always perfect, but it gives me something to focus on. And, okay, it's kind of silly. It ends on a Tame Impala song, Let It Happen. Fun fact, that song is a song I almost died to, and I can elaborate on that at another point in time, but the mantra goes. And it's kind of almost a nihilistic mantra, but my mantra is this: whatever happens, happens. And then I state my goal or intention and finish it off with let it happen. So, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea, let it happen. And then I put my mala on, go upstairs, brew a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and just think for a moment about my intention and what I want to do. And it's kind of ridiculous, perhaps. Kind of. Look, I'm somewhat of a nihilistic atheist. And it actually kind of makes me laugh to some degree that I have this sort of spiritual prayer kind of moment. Not to any specific deity or cosmic force, but to myself. If only for myself. Because, as far as I know, I'm the only thing I can verify that actually exists within my own parameters. Not that I'm an advocate of solipsism. Like, no. As far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to punch a solipsist because it's just self-abuse. Haha. But, yeah, I find the irony kind of ridiculous. It's one of my contradictory things, I think. I don't necessarily believe in anything cosmic or spiritual, but I like the idea of it for myself. And with my weird inner world, I could probably trick myself just enough to move forward. So, I've rambled long enough, and if you made it this far, hey, go get yourself a cup of tea too. You've earned it for sticking it out with me in this little ramble. I'll be wandering. I'm your wandering weirdo. If you want to wander with me, let's head to the kitchen. Whatever happens, happens. Let it happen.